So that's a Marvel thing you did, but like you're quite well known for like not so much the characters you've worked with in Marvel, I mean, but your own creator and stuff. So I think people here really want to hear about Transmet. I mean, are you sick of talking about Transmet?
What was Transmet?
There's something Patrick Stewart wrote, as far as I can recall.
Very old now. I don't remember these things. Yes, Patrick Stewart, who wrote a very good introduction.
Does it haunt you though, having such a big work? I mean, it's what, 1,300 words, 1,300 pages rather. 1,300 words. Last you take over. Okay, it's 1,300 pages.
It's time for me to leave now.
You finished that Red Bull. I can
more.
Yeah, I don't have any more Red Bull. Who wants to go run to the shop for some Red Bull? Nice one.
It's that you can just watch me fall asleep right in front of you. So.
Okay.
Transmetropolitan, yes, it haunts me.
Who's read Transmet, by the way?
Ah, there we go.
Okay, can we round of applause instead of hands up?
There's just no escape from it. Every new political season in the Western world, I will get 100 emails saying, "Isn't such and such just like the Smiler?"
I was actually thinking that we just had an election here recently, and I couldn't help but thinking of Enda Kenny.
There you go. There's always one. And now, of course, I'm getting a storm of, "Don't you think Charlie Sheen is just like Spider Jerusalem?"
Clearly Deadpool, for certain. But
I don't remember Spider Jerusalem shooting his girlfriend.
DC cut that scene, was it? Or?
No, funnily enough, that wasn't in there.
The scene where he throws his cryogenically preserved head, does it include the scene where he takes the cryogenically preserved head of his wife and throws it into the New York Bay?
Is this still Charlie Sheen?
Throwing the remains of your ex-wife into a bay and when she can still be revived, that's pretty hardcore.
Okay. Was just a comic.
In many ways it still is.
This is a comic, this means you're a comic book fan. We're going to pick...
Stop talking now.
I'm good, we're waiting for us. It's good to get that kind of ball rolling. Do you ever feel like you said, it's impossible to escape it? I mean, when you write something new, do you always feel it's in the shadow? Or I mentioned to you earlier, I think Dr. Sleepless was, for me, I found that much more interesting than Transmet, and I was really...
Well, I mean, one of the things I wanted to do with Dr. Sleepless, there was the flip side of a lot of stuff in Transmet that I didn't get to explore. That was certainly part of Dr. Sleepless, that I really wanted to get some stuff I couldn't get at with Transmetropolitan. On the whole, no, I mean, I finished Transmetropolitan almost 10 years ago. As I say, I was shooting a DVD yesterday, being interviewed for a DVD, and they gave me some bits of my writing to read out. And I didn't recognise whole chunks of them, and they had to tell me they were from episodes of Transmetropolitan. It was a long time ago now. I'm now very old and very much pre-senile. So it doesn't haunt me as a writer because thankfully I've forgotten much of it.
It's quite interesting because I was doing a bit of research on you, and I was looking at, I've randomly found Warren Ellis quotes on the wiki quote, and I was like, did he say that? Oh no, they've actually attributed Spider Jerusalem to you on all of these things, and you come across as an absolute mentalist.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't give that bastard house room. Horrible little man. The big problem I always have is people think I'm Spider Jerusalem.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm not. At most, Spider Jerusalem is the worst bits of me when I've just gotten out of bed. At most.
It's interesting because he's had such an impact on people who aren't normally comic fans. I was talking to a girl yesterday at her Comicsoc meeting, or Monday rather, and she was saying that she hasn't read a lot of your work, but she followed you on Twitter because of that quote about journalism, that it's just a gun, but if you aim it right, you can...
blow the kneecap off the world.
Yeah, that's you there, Sarah, I think, yeah. It's the red-haired girl waving at you awkwardly there. But it's weird because Transmet seems to be something that actually resonates with people who aren't traditional comic book fans. Why is that?
Because it's not a traditional comic book. It's the same reason that Preacher and Sandman resonate with people. Transmet is one of those things people find, they've heard about comic books, and there's a certain set of baggage that comes with that, and then you put something in front of them that works much more like a book. And I think it's the revelatory thing.
It's interesting because it's weird. Like you see Alan Moore and I think Matt there is wearing a mouse T-shirt, is he? Yes, he is. Things like that become. Actually, we're just going to stop this for a Red Bull delivery.
Most important moment.
I will ring.
Good man.
Round of applause for the Red Bull. Will you run and get some crack in it as well? Yeah, that'd be awesome, because Charlie Sheen is actually making a guest appearance at some point. But you're saying transmet because it reads like a book, but something that's been bothering me, people like, they'll know Mouse and they'll know some of Alan Moore's stuff, but they won't know something like Transmet or The Invisibles of Grant Morrison, because they're massive, they're not a discrete entity.
Exactly. These things are single volumes.
Yeah.
That's different. You can just plop Mouse there.
Or a
you
Matt's
need
T-shirt.
an arm for Sandman.
Yeah.
And probably The Invisibles too. Yeah.
You can't carry around The Invisibles.
It's part of that weird atemporality around comics where we still very much operate in the mode of Charles Dickens, where we're serialising 22 pages at a time in a short period, a month, and then it's collected slowly into the modern equivalent of a 3-decker.
Yeah.
So you don't get the cultural punch of something like Mouse or Watchmen, where it's just one thing. You sit down with that and you'll be different tomorrow.
Do you ever feel like that, maybe, to be taken, I mean, I'm not sure it's something you care about, but that I feel that yourself, Grant Morrison, and one or two others like Garth Ennis, that, I mean, in many ways you seem to have surpassed Alan Moore in terms of what you've done with the medium and done interesting things, but you just don't get the same recognition because you don't have that discrete volume that people go, this is my Watchmen, this is my...
Well, I mean, that's not completely fair because Alan did it first.
True. But that's because you believe in time as a linear entity, apparently.
Well, yeah, I mean, no one's ever going to escape Alan Moore in that sense because he did it first.
Is that a problem?
Not for me. Possibly for some other people.
It certainly seems that way.
But it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I'm a very different writer from Alan.
Absolutely. What interests me is that, like, your stuff with Avatar at the moment, like recent things you've done, like Black Summer and No Hero, have had like a serialized graphic novel on the thing. I'm not sure if that was down to you.
I think it was actually, yeah.
Because it's like, I think they're both like 7 parts, and like they don't seem to have your beginning, middle, and end per issue. It just seems to be something designed to be read as a discrete entity.
Yes.
And that's very rare, I think, because the way Marvel and DC seem to work is that they want 6-issue arcs, you know, beginning, middle, and end in each one that they can sell in their pamphlets, and then collect together and then move on to the next 6. Whereas,
partly, I mean, a lot of that depends on the writer and the writer's intent. A lot of writers simply couldn't give a shit about what you're talking about. They're happy to work in discrete chapters. Often, when I work at Marvel, I will write, for argument's sake, seamlessly. It's actually designed to be read as one whole thing, and there aren't hard chapter breaks. That's simply a writer's choice.
yeah, and it's like, because these things are still being released monthly. And
Well, ish.
ish. We'll get to that in a minute.
No, we won't. Not if you want to walk out of here. Yeah, go on.
You're lovely.